Hey guys, it's Corey here. Today I'm going to show you how to make an anvil out of 2-inch solid square steel. So this is cold rolled 1018 bar, and I'm going to be cutting a 5-inch piece and making an anvil out of it, basically just by stock removal. So yeah, here we go. Let's get started. So I'm just going to score the piece a little bit with my thin cutting disc here, just to kind of keep track of where I want that table to be. So now I'll be drilling some holes here, just using a regular drill press, but I believe this bit is 3/4 inch. I don't really care too much what size it is because I'm just drilling the hole so I can cut down here after with a cutting disc. This just helps me to get in that corner there. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side right about here. So I'll put some drilling fluid on there. I've just switched drill presses here. That other one was being a little finicky and one of the belts is worn out, so here I go with this one. Drilling that same hole. See how far it's gone already. Just don't want the drill bit to get too hot if you're ever doing this. Try and keep your drill bit somewhat cool. Use lubricant if you can, if you have it. Through. Got to line it up nicely, get it exactly where I want it. You want to get these off and make sure you don't do that with bare hands, because those things can whip you and wrap around your finger. I know a guy who hurt himself pretty bad. He was using a lathe, but it's the same sort of principle. These things here, little pieces, they can really get you. There we go. Got our 2 holes. My drawing of the anvil rubbed away with that oil, but you can sort of see where it's going to be. This will come down to the base here. As you can see after the drilling here, the oil made me lose most of my drawing. So now what I'm going to do is just redraw it on here what I kind of want. And most horns are actually angled up a bit like this. So I'm going up to that edge here. So I've made it a bit longer than I want it to be when it's done. Yeah, you get a rough idea there. Okay, time to do some grinding. So I missed the hole by a little bit, but that's okay because I'm going to come in from the top. But yeah, I would suggest if you're doing it, try and get it just on the top of the hole there. It'll save you a little bit of time. I'll show you what I'm doing next here. As you know, most anvils will come out at the base, kind of taper out. So you can see I've got it drawn here a little bit, roughly. So what I want to do is I want that outward curve to start right about here. So I've drawn this dotted line. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut part way in. So I'll cut right down here like that. And then I'm going to do that on both sides. And then I'll cut straight down here. And basically I'll take that chunk out. So basically take from here to here, and it'll come out as like a square piece or a rectangle piece kind of thing. And then after, I'll be able to grind that down and get it to the right taper that I want, because I just don't want to cut too far, because if I cut too much off, then I won't be able to fix it unless I weld it in. So I'm going to try and avoid doing any welding on this. And then, as you know, the horn right here is going to be basically like this after. I'm going to taper it up and cut it. But for now, just roughing it in. There we go. So as you can see, I'm going to grind that off after. This just gives me that nice edge for the face of the anvil. So I'll do that exact same thing with this other side here. So I've cut off that other side there now. You can probably sort of see where I'm going with this. Yeah, so the top's pretty well done. Another thing that has to be done here is I have to cut into the sides here a little bit. So I'm just going to do a V cut with the angle grinder, just like that. I want this to look like a real big anvil miniature. So yeah, I'll do this V cut, and then the actual rounding off in there I can do with a Dremel. And then this part can also be sanded down with a Dremel afterwards. So yeah, I think it'll look pretty good. So I've got a brand new flap wheel for this one. Basically I want that nice angled edge there, so that I can kind of get in there and do a nice job on the horn. We got the horn pretty well where I want it. There it is from the side. It's looking pretty nice. I'm gonna buff it off after and all that. Now I need to do some cleanup on this stuff, so I'm gonna get started on that. Yeah, kind of finish that up, and then I'll go in with a rotary tool and actually clean up all in there with a sanding drum. Yeah, I think it should look pretty nice. Thinking maybe I'll somehow figure out a way to do a hardy hole too. This is where I've got it to using the angle grinder. As you can see, I've done a bit of a number on this disc, just around the edges there. Kind of getting in here. Yeah, I got in there a little bit. There's one part here where I actually cut through too far when I was doing the cutting. So I actually want to fill this in with just a little bit of weld and then grind it off. Just welded that little line that I cut into it by accident. So I'm just going to grind that off. As you can see here, it's got the weld on it now. Got a little rotary tool here. Let's turn this thing on. So I'll try it at medium speed first. So this is after the sanding drum. As you can see, it took a little bit of it out, but yeah, I found those little drums just kept wearing out, so yeah, I might even take some sort of a disc on an air grinder, on an air tool. Well, this thing is feeling super nice now. I cleaned it up a little bit with this surface conditioning disc. It's a fleece disc, it really polishes it up nice. So it feels good, looks good, looks like an anvil. I'm going to drill a hardy and a Pritchel. So I'm going to drill the Pritchel hole first right here. As you can see, I've got it marked and center punched. So here we go. There we go. Drilling out the hardy hole there, right about there. There we go. So now I'll just grind that hole out so it's square. So I've actually got a pretty good selection of these little files here. This one is actually square, so I think I'm going to go with that. It's kind of hard to see there, but try that out. Oh yeah, that's working. Well, I suppose now this little anvil is ready to do some work. This hammer here is actually one that my great-grandfather made in the late 1800s. It's pretty cool. It's really small. So yeah, looks like we've got a finished anvil here. Have to strap this thing down, but yeah, it's looking good. Doesn't really have much rebound because it is just mild steel, but I may heat treat it to get it a little harder. Overall, I think it just looks awesome. It's more of a novelty thing. Probably just keep it on my desk or something, but pretty cool. Nice. Hope you enjoyed this video, and please subscribe if you'd like to see more in the future. I'm going to be making all kinds of stuff. Thanks very much.